what makes certain words, certain ideas not just stick around, but actually, thrive
Yeah.
across centuries, across totally different fields.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
And how do these insights from, well, some of history's most brilliant people, how do they keep resonating, still offering clarity in our, let's face it, pretty complex world?
It's a great question. It always makes me pause. The way some thoughts just transcend their time and place. Speaks to something deeper, doesn't it? Some underlying truths about being human, timeless stuff.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Think of this as a real journey, deep into this amazing collection of sources, the great book of best quotes of all time.
Sounds like quite the book.
It is. Our mission really is to pull out the best nuggets of wisdom from scientists, leaders, artists, philosophers, a real mix.
Okay.
And then this is the key part. See how their insights connect, maybe offer some surprising angles for your life today. It's kind of a shortcut to being, well, genuinely informed, plus some cool facts and hopefully a bit of humor too.
I like the sound of that. So where do we start?
We start with a giant, a mind that literally reshaped our universe. Albert Einstein.
Okay, Einstein. Can't get much bigger than that.
Right. Let's unpack this. The sheer, intellectual daring of general relativity.
Yeah.
Showing gravity isn't just a force, it's a curve in space and time itself. It's still, well, it blows my mind.
Mine too. Even Richard Feynman, the physicist. No intellectual slouch himself.
Not at all.
He marveled. I still can't see how he thought of it.
Exactly. And what's wild is how Einstein's ideas, kind of like Darwin's, they just echoed way beyond science into modern painting, poetry, the whole culture.
It's incredible. You have to imagine how revolutionary it felt back then in the 1920s. For a lot of advanced thinkers, relativity literally seemed to pull the rug out from under perceived reality.
Like a rug out, yeah.
It wasn't just physics changing, it was the concept of reality itself.
Well,
from this fixed absolute universe to one where space and time are linked, warped by mass. It really teaches you that even our most basic assumptions about the world can be completely upended. Makes you constantly question what you think is real.
which must have been why so many scientists struggled with it at first.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Which leads to that famous wisecrack from Arthur Eddington. Someone asked if only 3 people truly got relativity.
Oh, I love this one.
And Eddington paused, then said, I'm trying to think who the third person is.
Classic. And it shows Einstein wasn't just this, abstract genius. He was apparently quite down-to-earth, engaging, funny even.
Right, he had that side too.
He preferred his mothy sweaters and sweatshirts to getting dressed up, and that self-deprecating wit, calling himself the Jewish saint or artist's model.
Yeah, he had some great lines about science too, and that famous one about intelligence.
The fish climbing a tree one.
That's the one. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid.
That quote always gets me. Makes you think about, I don't know, our school systems, or just how narrowly society defines smarts or success.
Such a powerful point, isn't it?
Right.
Recognizing different kinds of intelligence, individual strengths, and he had that brilliant way of explaining relativity itself, the time aspect.
Oh, yeah, the courting a girl versus sitting on a cinder.
Exactly. When you're courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Simple, but gets the feeling across perfectly.
So Einstein shows us how physical reality can be totally reimagined. What happens when we take that kind of radical rethinking and apply it to intelligence itself?
Yeah.
Especially machine intelligence.
Excellent pivot. Let's talk artificial intelligence, AI. The dawn and the debate.
Okay.
John McCarthy, who actually coined the term AI back in 1955, he defined it simply as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. Really set the stage, Focus on copying human thinking.
Making machines smart.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Derek Partridge built on that, saying AI attempts to construct computational mechanisms for activities that are considered to require intelligence when performed by humans. Basically asking, can a machine think the way we do?
And right away, you get these provocative quotes questioning it all. Like Terry Pratchett, love his stuff, his humorous but kind of pointed take. Real stupidity beats artificial intelligence every time.
He had such a way with words.
Didn't he? And this one. Maybe the only significant difference between a really smart simulation and a human being was the noise they made when you punched them.
Oof.
Yeah.
Funny, but unsettling, like you said.
Yeah. Do you think there's a serious point hidden in the jokes there about AI, or is it just comedy?
Oh, I think there's definitely a serious undercurrent. Humor like that often probes these big, sometimes uncomfortable ideas, like the different visions for AI's future.
Right, like the predictions.
Exactly. You had Herbert Simon way back predicting that machines will be capable within 20 years of doing any work that a man can do.
Which didn't quite happen in 20 years, but the ambition was there.
The ambition was definitely there. And then fast forward to someone like Ray Kurzweil with this really futuristic vision. By 2100, he suggests our destiny is to become like the gods we once worshipped and feared, using tools like AI and nanotech.
Wow, that's a big statement. Becoming like gods.
It is. It speaks to a huge shift in how we see ourselves in technology.
But not everyone sees it that way, right? There are other views. Donald Mitchell argued AI is actually about making machines more fathomable and more under the control of human beings, not less.
Yes, seeing it as a tool for clarity, for human control, not some kind of uncontrollable force.
Not chaos.
Right. And this is crucial. These definitions, these debates, they aren't just about AI. They force us to look back at ourselves. What is human intelligence, really?
Good point.
If a machine can learn, create, maybe even seem to feel, where's the line? Consciousness, wisdom, that human spark, it makes you really reflect on what makes us.
Okay, so from redefining intelligence in machines, let's shift to the practical stuff, the art of living, and some maybe unconventional wisdom for life, for business.
All right.
Bill Gates, for example. He has some surprisingly, refreshing takes on success. Like that famous line, I failed in some subjects in exam, but my friend passed in all, and now he is an engineer in Microsoft, and I am the owner of Microsoft.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one.
He even said something like, the toppers of the best universities are my employees.
It's interesting, isn't it, how he kind of flips that standard idea of academic success being the only path.
Totally.
And a key thing with Gates seems to be this focus on constant learning, adapting. He said, your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning.
That's brilliant. Not just customer service. It's like free consulting.
Exactly. Agile Methodology 101 right there. Your biggest critics show you exactly where you need to innovate, where the problems are, unfiltered feedback. He also had that strategic thought on efficiency in tech.
The two rules.
Yeah. The first rule of any technology used in a business is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency.
Right. Makes you really stop and think. Are you automating something good or just making a mess bigger faster?
Precisely.
And he wasn't above a bit of fun advice either. Be nice to nerds. Chances are you'll end up working for one.
Always good advice.
And that perspective on time and effort. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. That's a real lesson in patience and long-term thinking.
These are great insights for individuals, for business. Yeah. But how do these ideas play out on a bigger stage? Leading nations, impacting millions.
That's a whole different level.
It is. Let's look at philosophies of power, governance. And, these ideas aren't always new. They often echo way back. Think about ancient philosophy.
Like Socrates.
Exactly. Socrates' core belief. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Humility is the starting point.
Right. And the unexamined life is not worth living. That famous one.
Absolutely. Challenging us to constantly reflect. And his practical take on happiness. The secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less.
That feels very relevant today. And it connects, doesn't it, with teachings from someone like Osho.
How so?
Well, Osho emphasized that happiness happens when you fit with your life, when you fit so harmoniously that whatsoever you are doing is your joy. Finding that flow, that alignment.
Fitting with your life. I like that phrasing.
He also saw creativity as rebellion. Creativity is the greatest rebellion in existence. And that powerful idea, life begins where fear ends. A call to be bold.
Shedding inhibitions, like you said. Which brings up this big question of responsibility, personal and collective. Mahatma Gandhi's famous call.
Be the change
you wish to see in the world.
Yeah.
Taking personal responsibility for the world you want. And his strong stance against violence. I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary. The evil it does is permanent. A really profound long-term view.
It's clear this theme of adaptability keeps coming up, from personal happiness, like enjoying less, to societal change. It reminds me of Darwin.
Darwin, how does he fit?
His observation. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change.
Responsiveness to change. survival through adaptation.
Exactly. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does all this mean for you listening right now? How do you approach change, personal growth? How willing are you really to adapt?
Deep questions.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift gears again. Let's talk about communication, creativity, and their lasting power. Starting with the written word, books.
Yeah, be a good book.
Ernest Hemingway certainly thought so. There's no friend as loyal as a book. Powerful statement.
It is. And Cicero, Marcus Tullius Cicero, gave us that amazing image. A room without books is like a body without a soul. Just captures that feeling of emptiness without them.
It really does. And it's interesting how different people see the role of books. Jorge Luis Borges, the writer,
Gorgeous, yeah.
he imagined paradise will be a kind of library. Just endless discovery and joy in words.
Beautiful thought.
Yeah.
But then you have Kafka.
Right, Franz Kafka. Very different take. He saw a book as, well, almost violent, transformative certainly. A book must be the axe for the frozen sea within us.
Whoa, an axe for the frozen sea?
Yeah.
That's intense, cracking you open.
Isn't it? And then Roald Dahl, more playfully but still serious, telling kids and adults to go throw your TV set away and in its place you can install a lovely bookcase on the wall.
Good old Roald Dahl. A clear message there.
Okay, so from the quiet intensity of books, let's move to something more universal perhaps. Music.
Music.
Victor Hugo put it beautifully. Music expresses that which cannot be said and on which it is impossible to be silent. That deep, unspeakable stuff.
It truly crosses all boundaries, doesn't it? Cultures, time. Plato saw it as fundamental. He said music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything.
Gives life to everything. Wow.
It's amazing how consistent that view is, from ancient philosophy right up to, well, even someone like Joseph Stalin.
Stalin.
On music, yeah, apparently even he, known for harsh pragmatism, admitted its power. He noted, music's a good thing, it calms the beast in the man, acknowledging its calming effect.
That's surprising. And then Mozart, with that incredibly subtle insight. The music is not in the notes, but in the silence between.
The silence between.
It's brilliant, but sometimes I wonder, you still need the notes, right? They create the space for the silence.
That's a wonderful paradox, isn't it? The interplay. True art is often in what's not there, the gaps that give shape and meaning, which ties into visual storytelling too, bringing imagination to life.
Right. Let's talk visuals. Films, animation. Steve Martin joked, all of life's riddles are answered in the movies.
Wish it were that simple.
Me too. But Audrey Hepburn kind of echoed it, claiming, everything I learned from the movies. It shows how much we absorb from cinema, how it shapes our view of the world.
It really does. And what's compelling there is the intent behind great filmmaking. Christopher Nolan talked about wanting sincerity.
What did he say?
I want to feel that the people who made that film think it's the best movie in the world, that they poured everything into it and they really love it. That passion, that dedication, you feel it as an audience.
You absolutely do.
Yeah.
And you can't talk about that kind of passion, especially in animation and film, without mentioning Walt Disney.
Oh, for sure, Disney.
His whole philosophy was imagination plus grit. If you can dream it, you can do it. Simple, but powerful.
The ultimate optimist, maybe.
Perhaps. And he believed in constant curiosity moving forward. We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths.
Never stop exploring.
Exactly. And his vision for Disneyland. Disneyland will never be completed. It will continue to grow as long as there is imagination left in the world. Continuous creation.
It really shows how creativity, whether it's books, music, film, it's this ongoing exploration. Reflects that human drive to imagine, build, make something that lasts.
Okay, so we've seen individual growth, creativity, but you brought up leadership earlier. How do these principles scale when you're talking about power, about governing nations?
Right, the stakes get much higher. Let's look at that now. Philosophies of power, governance, and some real contrasts.
Okay.
Think about Abraham Lincoln during the U.S. Civil War. Total dedication to preserving the Union. He vowed to save it, even if it meant war.
A huge decision.
Massive. And the Emancipation Proclamation wasn't just freeing slaves. It identified the Union's cause as ending slavery. A powerful moral framing. Plus his practical wisdom, like, it is not best to swap horses while crossing the river. Don't make big changes in a crisis.
Makes sense, but then you have drastically different views on power. Stark, even brutal ones.
Yes. Stark is the word. Figures like Joseph Stalin. That chilling quote. One death is a tragedy, a million is a statistic.
Ugh, just strips the humanity away.
Completely. And his assertion about control. People who cast the votes decide nothing. The people who count the votes decide everything. A very cynical view of democracy, or perhaps a warning.
And related to controlling the narrative, there's that Lenin quote.
Right. Vladimir Lenin's observation: a lie told often enough becomes the truth. The power of propaganda, repetition.
It's important we mention these, I think. These quotes are in the source material, and they offer a really important, if dark, perspective on how power can be wielded or abused. We're not endorsing them, obviously, just presenting the ideas.
Absolutely, presenting them impartially. And this tension between power and truth, or power and secrecy, leads us to someone like Julian Assange.
WikiLeaks founder.
Exactly. His motivation was stated as the belief that the free exchange of information would put an end to illegitimate governance. Transparency as the antidote.
So his goal was clear.
Very. He said the goal is justice, the method is transparency. And his take on why agencies keep secrets. Intelligence agencies keep things secret because they often violate the rule of law or of good behavior. A direct challenge to state secrecy.
And then, shifting again, you have someone like Winston Churchill, the epitome of resilience.
Never, never, never give up. Probably his most famous line, pure bulldog spirit.
Definitely. And he also had that thought about history. If we open a quarrel between past and present, we shall find that we have lost the future. A warning against getting bogged down in old arguments, maybe. Learn from the past, don't be trapped by it.
A powerful call for perspective. Okay, we've dealt with some heavy stuff there. Power, war, secrecy. Let's maybe lighten the mood a touch.
Please.
Let's talk about humor. Its essential role in just getting through life. Humor is generally defined as, the tendency of particular cognitive experiences to provoke laughter and provide amusement.
Sounds about right.
And it's widely seen as very healthy. Good for the mind, good for coping.
And often, the best humor comes from a place of self-awareness, right? Like Mark Twain.
Oh, Twain was the master.
That humbling thought, we are all stupid just on different subjects. So true.
Painfully true sometimes. And his appreciation for human silliness. Let us be thankful for the fools. Because of them, the rest of us could not succeed. A little wink there.
A definite wink. And Bill Cosby, before everything else, had that insight about humor as a survival tool.
What was that one?
If you can find humor in anything, even poverty, you can survive it. That speaks volumes about resilience, finding light in the dark through perspective.
It really does. The power of perspective again.
And we can't really talk about navigating life, about authenticity, without mentioning someone like Marilyn Monroe, some surprisingly deep insights there.
Really? Like what?
Well, this reflection on self-worth. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. Embracing your quirks, your flaws.
I like that. Better ridiculous than boring.
And that incredibly empowering line, give a girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world. Finding confidence, power, even in something seemingly simple, it resonates.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground today. A real journey, like you said, through Einstein's universe, the complexities of AI.
Right. Gates's business insights, ancient wisdom from Socrates, Osho, Gandhi.
The power of books, music, film. Contrasting views on leadership from Lincoln to Stalin to Churchill and Assange.
And finally landing on humor and authenticity with Twain and Monroe. It's quite the list.
It really is. But what's amazing is how themes keep bubbling up, right?
Yeah.
Intelligence, purpose, creativity, leadership, change. The human condition, basically, all emerging from these wildly different sources.
Yeah, it really hammers home that idea that wisdom, real timeless wisdom, it can pop up anywhere, unexpected places.
So if Robert Frost could sum up life in 3 words, it goes on.
Simple but profound.
And if Swami Vivekananda reminds us, all power is within you, you can do anything and everything.
Yeah.
Then the real question for you listening is, what new understanding will you uncover? What surprising actions might you take? Just by feeding that curiosity, that holy curiosity, as Einstein might have called it.